just the way that they composed everything and put something together, and the way that they went from being kind of what was considered back then like a boy band, and then just completely changed their style of music. They started changing it around this time.
It is time.
Beatles. Check out the Beatles. Adam, you want to talk about them?
They're a band.
They are a band.
Yeah, you might have heard of them. They're called the Beatles.
Yeah.
And we're listening to a song called "In My Life" from their album "Rubber Soul," released in 1965. 1965. Enunciation is important. So this is an autobiographical song about John Lennon's life. I didn't know that. The lyrics about friends refer to Stu Sutcliffe, an early Beatle and great friend of John's, who died in 1962, and another friend named Pete Shotton. So Lennon also thought of his aunt Mimi and wife Cynthia, as well as other friends. One of the most beautiful Beatles songs. John called it a little piece of artwork.
That's right.
Well, I'm stoked on a little piece of artwork here with my friends here with Galaxy Jams React. So here it is, "In My Life" by the Beatles from their 1965 album Rubber Soul. Let's get into it.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I've loved them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more.
All right, what do you think there, Kai?
It's interesting. I can tell that this was recorded way differently than the other songs we were listening to.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's really good. I mean, the Beatles are well known, obviously. I don't know. Like, I've never, out of all the Beatles songs I've heard, I've never heard this one before.
Yeah, this is one of their earlier ones, and it's a great song. I love the lyrics, and I love part that's coming up. I'll talk about here in a minute. But just the way that they composed everything and put something together, and the way that they went from being kind of what was considered back then like a boy band, and then just completely changed their style of music. They started changing it around this time because they stopped kind of touring during this kind of period. And they started focusing more on the songs and everything, and kind of working in the studio to do some cool stuff with their producer, George Martin. What do you think, Adam?
I wish I could go back and be a contemporary for the Beatles, because like it's really incredible. Like, you kind of come up and it's just an existing, a pervasive part of your cultural literacy, and then like listening to like all these other songs and like Blackpink or whatever, and then coming back and like the songwriting is extremely interesting and extremely unique, but like, I've heard the song a million times. It's like, and I don't think anything of it. And like, it's just kind of like a core memory. And then going back and trying to hyper pay attention to it, you're like, oh, it's actually very uniquely written and quite unique and interesting sounds. And, I wish I could experience what it was like to be a contemporary Beatles fan and just be losing my mind over this band. But I also,
it's so different than everything else back then.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to put my head into is like, what else was before the Beatles that like made this like this brand new thing? And it's just, I want to be in that precipice that you jump through, and you're just like, holy shit, this is so new.
Yeah. And I also challenge everyone in this room to think of a song that better encapsulates staring off into a sunset than this song.
Right. Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. That's a good one too.
Damn it.
I won the challenge. Mike, what do you think?
makes me feel so nostalgic and open and vulnerable and
Yeah.
thinking of like all the good times and the bad times. It's really such a timeless song. I absolutely love it.
One thing about they worked a lot with their producer George Martin, and he always brought something new. They asked him to do certain things. They left kind of a hole in the middle of the song, which is coming up here. It's kind of an instrumental break, and producer George Martin filled it the next morning by playing a piano solo and then speeding the tape up to make it sound like a harpsichord. And because Lennon had asked him to fill it with something Baroque. So let's check it out.
Oh, I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
It's a good little song. I've always loved that one. The Beatles.
It's lovely. I want to listen to it again. That was great.
Hashtag fire.
It's like, straight up, like get someone giving you a nice back rub.
That's a bop right there. That's a bop. That's what the kids say.
It's a bop. Is that what the kids say nowadays?
Yeah, they say it's a bop. I went down to the kids, and that's what the kids were saying.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm still late.
It's ironic
All right.
the kids are saying that because it was an old person saying that, and the kids wanted to say it to make fun of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like how I got into dope. I was like making fun of my drummer for saying dope, and now I say dope.
I feel like people, that's how you learn to say new things, is that you start by saying them ironically as a
Yep.
joke, and then you just start saying
And
them.
then it's like, gotcha.
What's one of the things that you used to say all the time that now you hate that you said it, but you had the hardest time getting rid of it? What word?
Ooh, I got to think about that one.
I know mine.
I
know
make
mine.
no
No, I know
apologies.
one. I know one.
No apologies for anything I've ever said.
No.
I used to say sketch a lot.
Oh.
Like sketch. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, you ordered like some French fries? Sketch. It's for literally no reason.
I mean, all of like the millennial things, like awkward or like adulting, that are now
Adulting.
legit.
Ooh.
Like all those things that are cringy now.
Yeah, mine was bad for good. Man, that's so bad.
For good.
Oh, bad, using
Bad.
bad for good.
That's
oh.
so bad.
Nah, I can get back on with that.
That's
Oh,
a very
I used to say
90s thing.
tight a lot. Like, that's so tight.
Also a
It's the
very
same
90s
thing,
thing.
yeah.
And then I remember
Yeah.
some kid was making fun of me. He's like, "Oh, that's tight." And I'm like, "Yeah." And when things aren't tight, they're loose fitting. So then he made fun of me for weeks after, like, "Hey, Mike, is that loose fitting?"
Oh my god.
I remember
God.
trying to explain to my parents, like, oh, no, bad's good. And they're like, I don't get it.
Wait.
Oh yeah, back.
Silver Sky Surfer says "bad to the bone." You actually
Ooh.
unironically said the phrase "bad to the
Bad
bone."
to the
I know,
Silver
not
Sky
me.
Surfer.
No, he did.
Also,
well, I guess, we might have said, oh, man, it's bad to the bone. Because,
Well,
you have that song from back
I don't hear anybody saying "kick ass" anymore. It's pretty bad.
Kick ass.
That's that band was totally kick ass.
And the other thing was,
Okay.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude.
people say
I
like
still say that every once
dude's
in a while.
making
Yeah,
a comeback.
Dude's
now,
coming back.
You know.
Yeah.
Dude. I think mullets are coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all
That's a
comes
shame.
around.
Fashion mullets. They're
Don't
a
do
thing.
that.
It all comes around.
No, it wasn't good back then.
Cool beans, man.
Oh,
Cool
Silver Sky
beans.
Surfer says hella. I used to say hella.
Hella
There you
is
go.
still
It's hella
around too.
sweet.
If you're from California, hella
Wicked
and hecka
awesome.
is still the same.
Yeah, and now there's John. That's like a Philly thing.
Yeah,
Like
John.
that
Yeah, where
Philly
did John come from?
I don't
That's
know.
Philly, you said?
Yeah, you just call everything John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cooked this John up right here.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that is.
Hi, this is Mike with Galaxy Jams Reacts. We hope that you enjoyed that React video. Be sure to check out the links below of when we're going to be live streaming our next show and also how to watch full episodes. Please hit that subscribe button. Every single one helps.